Okay, hey everyone, we're going to try Poppy Playtime. We're going to at least try the first one. I don't think there's too many hard puzzles in the first one, but I can't remember if it's 2, 3, or 4. I know there's a puzzle that is really, I've watched this whole thing. I know there's like a puzzle that gets really hard where you've got to know all the colors or the things. So, I don't know if I'll be able to bring you the full gameplay.
The first time I entered the mansion at night, and I met Charles Vincent, the mightiest of all vampire hunters. See, his words, not mine. He walks into this room, throwing a cross in your face, and he's trying to compel it.
Oh great, I hope I don't get copyright mark. I turned off some of the music.
But if you exit this room and then just re-enter, you'll find him sleeping peacefully in this lavish bed. You know how big your fools have to be to sleep in a place like this? I couldn't figure out where to go or what to do, and there was no waking Charles up. But that's when I remembered it was still night out. So I left and did some more exploring until it was day. But this time, I was greeted by a new face. This enchanting beauty is named Rosa. And yes, she's coloring these flowers with blood. No question. Turns out, in order to progress the story, you need to find her in the mornings. After a bit of dialogue, she suggests talking to Charles again, who now gives you a key that you need to continue your quest. This was another cool moment for me, and great use of the day and night mechanic. And you get similar experiences to this in the very beginning. You see, the game starts you in a place called the Forest of Silence. It's dark and rainy. A faint fog hangs in the air, masking the limited draw distance. Your perilous journey has only begun. As you explore the woods, you'll come across some cool scripted events like lightning striking down trees and skeletons emerging from the ground.
Oh, am I supposed to skip?
It's
I was
all
going to
very
say.
cinematic and moving.
Am I supposed to skip
But
it?
if you hang around long enough, like I did, messing around with the controls, the rain will eventually subside, and the fog will lift. It's now daytime. The skeletons, who seem so menacing at night, are a lot less scary when the sun is shining. Maybe shining isn't the right word, but you get the idea. Despite what I've mentioned so far, this first area is rather bland and uninspired. There are some cool parts, but the game's visuals don't really hit their stride until you reach the castle village. Here, the game shifts to
Oh, that's right. I don't
slow,
think I can
more
pick
deliberate
anything
pace,
up yet.
kind of like you're exploring a haunted house. There are some beautiful areas to be found throughout Castlevania 64. As I mentioned already, the villa was great. Every room felt unique and lived in. The storage room where you can save your game feels sheltered and warm. This antechamber feels cold and empty. The designers really understood Gothic horror and totally leaned into that strength. This red curtain blowing in a dark room while there's a storm raging outside. It's such a vibe that
Is that green, pink, yellow, red?
But it just feels like Castlevania. These dim, silent hallways are filled with dread, but they also bring about a sense of wonder. I asked myself a few times, what was life like here, back when things were normal? Beyond that, there's confusing hedge mazes, creepy spider-filled caverns, towering clock towers. To me, the biggest standout was the castle center. You never know what awaits you behind each door. It could be a museum room, or maybe it's an arena with a giant sleeping bull. It also has these kooky skeletons zooming around on Harleys like a biker gang. It's a lot of fun. You can tell that the developers were letting their imaginations run wild in here, and that fun transcends into your own experience. But as much as I enjoyed the visual spectacle, this area is also home to the most frustrating part of the entire game, the dreaded magical
Took me a while to figure that out.
Just saying those words makes me shudder. Those of you who have played this game before are likely nodding in agreement, or laughing at me. That's fine too. See, there are puzzles in Castlevania 64. Most of them are rather tame, like this observatory, for instance. Simple, straightforward, find the clues and solve the puzzle. No big deal.
So we could have watched the green. Okay, yeah, I know about that.
You need to break through these walls. When you can't, you need explosives. But we don't have explosives. So you have to make your own.
by gathering reagents found throughout the castle. Now, the game does a good job explaining what you need, and both ingredients are easy enough to find. There's even cool in-game logic behind it. The magical nitro is a substance infused with explosive magical energy, but is extremely sensitive to physical shocks. The mandragora is a mythical plant known for letting out a deafening magical scream when its roots are disturbed. Put the two together, and you've got yourself one hell of a good time. The devs even make it easy for you with the first one. It's conveniently near the magical nitro room. You place down your ingredients, get some cover, and... easy enough, right? But then there's this fucking crack wall, the bowl arena. It's essentially a complete opposite end of the castle. So you need to carry the magical nitro down,
and I'm the head of innovation here at the Playtime
and perilous obstacles. If you get hit, you die.
You're trespassing.
If you jump, you die.
Yeah, we played this little tape on loop whenever we closed the factory for the day.
In Skyrim terms, it's the equivalent of walking.
Not really, you don't, because if I had to put it in, no, you don't.
You've dreamt of this moment. Back in old.
Because you forgot to put it in.
Set off, we'll turn on the factory's emergency alarms and directly contact the authorities. And that's one
At least you can get a deal on new shorts for Dad.
of our security system. No spoilers. So, you got my warning. It's not too late to turn around.
Your vision without limitation. Adobe Photoshop's harmonized feature allows you to create without limits, no matter what may come your way. Photo shoots don't always go to plan, and here I have two separate photographs, and I want this individual in the bottom of the photo car. So I'm going to select my subject, mask her out, bring her into the main photograph. Now, I've taken this kind of suit many times before, so I just have to make some minor adjustments to match the depth of field and make sure she is the right size so it looks realistic in this composition. Once I've got all that dialed in and feeling good about it, all I'm going to do now is hit harmonize, and Photoshop is going to read all of the lighting conditions in the main photograph and apply it to the subject on that layer. It's absolutely magic and allows me to fully execute the idea that I had when things don't necessarily always go to plan. It gives you three options so you can pick and choose what you feel is more natural to that scene. I really like this one. I feel like it matches.
Or give you a high five, Huggy, so don't.
If you don't like it, you can harmonize again and you'll get more generations. So check out Adobe Photoshop's brand new harmonize feature today and experience.
But you're not allowed to take any rope, and you have a bomb strapped to your chest. This isn't
Thanks for the
just
key.
hard. It's cruel and unusual punishment. Unless you really know what you're doing, you're going to die a lot, and there's no save points along the way. It's a marathon of patience and will.
Oh, if you're hearing the, I'm listening to. I know. I just subscribed to him. I don't know his name by heart yet. He's talking about Nintendo 64
with an epic battle against a badass bowl.
games. I've never played Nintendo 64. I want to get a Nintendo 64. I put a couple on my Amazon wish list because I want to collect all the like the original game systems. Try to find a way to hook them all up in this
Transitioning the series combat into a
my basement bedroom. I wish I had my own place, but I couldn't. I can't afford. I can't afford my own place right now.
Castlevania 64 didn't have to be that. It just needed to be on par with its platform contemporaries. And for the most part, I'd say
Okay, where are you supposed to go? I forget. Where do you take this key?
Primary and secondary attack. Reinhardt uses a whip and a sword, while Carrie uses magic and a melee ring. Each also has access to tertiary thrown weapons like daggers and holy weapons.
Just where do you go? Is it? You
You
think after how many times I watched Poppy Playtime gameplays all the time, besides like the Mario XE and I'm watching Garden of Bam Bam, you think I'd remember this?
This means you'll be baiting and dodging a lot of attacks. Sometimes that works, other times not. Now, for
Do
the
I go
first few
back
hours of
out the
game,
way I came
combat
in?
was damn near unplayable for me. The game would run at the speed of a PowerPoint against certain foes, and I almost had to
I
call it
don't
quits on some
think.
review. Well, turns out, that was all on me. I was running an old version of OBS, which was destroying my MacBook's performance. After a few tweaks and an update, the game ran smoothly, even in its busier moments. And let me tell you, this game can get busy. You'll be fighting a variety of monsters throughout the game. Everything from werewolves to exotic spiders to these stupid Medusa heads.
What was that?
But your
Something
most
sounded
common
like it was
foe,
writing
especially in the
something.
beginning, will be skeletons. What is this, a From Soft game? Some are
Oh, it was
giant,
the train.
some explode, some ride bikes, and some toss bones.
It's
They're
like
all
I said,
pretty
you
easy to
think I'd
take
remember
down
this
once you get
stuff,
used to the
but
game's combat. And
we'll
I love
figure it
picking
out.
these bony guys apart, piece by piece. And it makes for some good entertainment at times. Hey, get back here.
Hey, Huggy.
Konami really tried to
Huggy
emphasize
Wuggy,
their
help
boss
me out here.
battles. So much so that they have a unique camera called boss mode whenever you encounter one. I didn't notice any difference from the battle mode, except you can't ever take your focus off the boss, which can get annoying.
Good luck, everyone. We have a black and one of white here.
Look at him glow in the light.
Sometimes life can be
Okay,
a
let's
little
just see.
messy. But with next-gen Nubella Performance Fabric at Ashley, we've got your whole home covered. So you can get back to what you love, messes and all.
Okay, why am I so
But I guess
confused?
it helps these fights feel more cinematic. When you're fighting the giant bull, for example,
That's the way I
skin
came
falls
in,
off
right?
halfway through the fight. It's
Yeah.
actually a pretty neat effect. It does have this cheap little combo where it can hit you with a beam, but, well, we won't get into that. I couldn't help but feel like something was missing. These fights feel half-cooked in most areas.
There we go.
Figure out what. Then again, to be fair, most of the game actually feels this way. Now, I've been picking at this game's weaknesses, and rightfully so. But amidst all that, there is one undeniable strength. This soundtrack is awesome.
Oh, okay, I wanted to let you know, too, if you're watching this, please leave a comment and let me know. And if you're into Animal Crossing, if you go to my information, scroll all the way down, I have my own Animal Crossing channel. I mean, my own Animal Crossing Facebook group I made, if you want to join.
By 1999, the N64 had a lot. You had the electric espionage tunes of GoldenEye, the acoustic
Wait,
melodies
is this
of
what I
Ocarina
was
of
supposed
Time,
to be?
and who could forget about the funky beats of Donkey Kong 64? That opening song is seared into my brain. The console's musical competition was stiff, to say the least. Yet, I'd argue that Castlevania 64 holds a spot firmly up there with those industry titans. It's that good.
Okay, that's what I was
It may not
supposed
be as
to
good
try to
as
wrap
its 2D
around.
predecessor, Symphony of the Night, but few games
Oh.
are. Symphony of the Night was like a dark priest screaming a sermon at the unwashed masses, whereas Castlevania 64 is more akin to cultists chanting in an amphitheater. The music often takes a back seat.
I didn't realize I was
Genuinely
pulling
macabre,
the...
lonely atmosphere. This is best exemplified by the game's intro sequence, where the melancholic violin solo sets a haunting, sorrowful tone. My favorite song
Because one thing I need help with,
is Annex, Silent extended version playing while I was writing the script. You first
I
hear
want
waves
to
of
start a
water
new
building.
island
That setting
on
complements
my
it well.
Nintendo Switch
There's
2
an
for
open
Animal
mini
Crossing, but
kind
I
of
want
in
it to
a
be a
similar
horror
vein to that
island with
Resident Evil safe room themes.
maybe Poppy
Some
Playtime,
dancing
but
women attract
mainly
the most. You're starting to get all hot and bothered, but you're terrified at the same time.
that Mario,
Still great cheating.
Luigi,
And it's not just the music.
Waluigi,
The sound
and
design holds up really
Wario,
well too. The
EX,
satisfying crack of
EXE
Reinhardt's rope
stuff,
to the sound of Dracula
but
panting
I don't
himself
know
out
how
of
to make
steam
designs,
brings back
so
some
I
gruesome
need whoever it is,
Speaking of Dracula,
anybody that can make
pure
designs
scores
in
for
Animal
its gruesome.
Crossing, make really cool, awesome
Just let it be
designs,
for any N64 game.
to do it for me. So long as I have someone I know that they say they'll make the designs for me, I'll
Despite
start
its
the
many
island,
flaws,
so
I think Castlevania 64 is better than what its bad reputation would lead you to believe. It's an admirable attempt to carry over the casket from the comfortable world of 2D. And though not everything transferred over smoothly, the gothic horror setting and oppressive atmosphere surely did.
because
Will you be holding your breath
I don't want to
for the
start
last
the
couple
island
seconds?
and then
Yes, absolutely. But in the end, it remains a testament to how atmosphere and a pervasive sense of dread can overcome technical shortcomings. And there's
have
especially
no
terrible
one
characters.
doing the designs, because I checked on my
While
Switch
its
1
reputation
to
soured
see if
over
there
the
was
years,
any like
it might
Mario
surprise you
X
to learn that the initial
EX stuff.
reception for Castlevania
There was
64
two,
was somewhat
and they
positive.
weren't that great
Viewers appreciated its ambition
of
and willingness to
designs.
adapt to 3D, while others praised its gothic atmosphere. It wasn't all moonlight and bloody rainbows, though. There were plenty of people calling out its technical flaws, too. But even harsh critics still found it to be a worthwhile experience. Because of this, many fans were caught completely by surprise when Konami announced a follow-up Castlevania title later that same year. The company had been listening to their fans and taking some notes. The camera is shit. Got it. Bad controls and mechanics? We're on it. The game lacks content? Hold my beer. This might seem like a foreign concept nowadays. Back then, game developers used to make games that their fans wanted. But even for the time, you've never seen a company release an apology game. Well, sort of. You still had to pay for it. Still, it was like Konami had said, my bad guys, let's try that again. And I, for one, can respect that. Developed again by KSEP, Legacy of Darkness was born from a mix of regret and unfinished business, an effort to finally deliver the game they had meant to make in the first place. On the business front, this would give Konami a chance to wring a bit more profit out of that Castlevania sponge. Reusing assets and code is always an efficient way to get a little more return on investment. Sure, fans would be paying twice for what was essentially the same game, but at least now they'd be getting their money's worth. It was a win-win for everybody, right? Not even a year after the first N64 title, we got Castlevania, Legacy of Darkness.
You like la 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 la. I love you like la 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 la.
IMI is a new type of daily supplement for your immune system that helps to replace important bacteria we've lost touch with in modern life. Without these bacteria, our immune system is a lot like an orchestra without a conductor. Its complex parts are unable to work together as they should. This can lead to the wrong kind of inflammation in the body, a key cause of stress and other mental and physical health issues. That's why we created IMI. It's the conductor your immune system needs to help keep things in tune and in tempo.
In some ways, it was a prequel, and others, a re-release. But whatever it was, it confused a lot of people. So what changed? Well, a lot.
Great, how do I get back
From
up
a
there?
technical standpoint, Legacy of Darkness is the better of the two games. For one, the camera is much more controllable. You can now adjust the distance and angle using the C buttons, similar to that of Mario 64. The lock-on system is also refined, making fights a lot more manageable. You have a greater sense of command over the field of battle. I never knew how much I underappreciated Mario's camera system until playing these games. It makes one hell of a difference. Controls are a little tighter, movements a bit snappier, and the frame rate, well, it's there. This is still a Nintendo 64 game trying to render gothic architecture at a stable frame rate, and it certainly tries. They also added expansion pack support, which gives a nice little boost to the visuals, but at the cost of turning your frame rate into a slideshow. You can either see the castle clearly or move through it at a reasonable speed. Pick one. It's the kind of decision that perfectly encapsulates the Nintendo 64. Developers were pushing this system to its absolute limit, but there was only so much polish being put on these little parties. In fairness, they really did fix a lot. The level redesigns are actually good. The forest area got rebuilt into something more open and interesting. They also added some new music as well, providing a wider variety of ambient and atmospheric tunes that enrich the game's excellent atmosphere.
Oh great, we don't have the green one, but where's the green one?
But all these changes pale in comparison to the biggest one I have yet to reveal, the werewolf. That's right, you get to play as a fucking werewolf. And if you don't think that's cool, then I don't think you're cool. And I only talk to cool people. Legacy of Darkness centers around Cornell, a man-beast who's on a quest to save
Oh, I
his
see it.
sister.
I see it. I
She's
see
been
it.
kidnapped and is set to be sacrificed in a ritual to resurrect Dracula, and only her brother can save her. He was supposed to be in the first game, but that was probably the biggest cut Konami had to make. The story takes place years before the events of Castlevania 64. Instead of starting off in the Forest of Silence, the game begins in a destroyed village. A powerful contrast to the first game. Along the way, he has to protect humans, deal with his troublesome beast manpower, and face off against old rivals. Unlike Reinhardt and Carrie, who rely on traditional weapons and magic, Cornell's playstyle is more like that of a martial artist, providing a completely different gameplay experience. In his human form, he uses energy-bladed punches, which is great for both ranged and melee attacks. But then, he can also do this. I mean, come on, the dude's a werewolf. Werewolves are badass. Of course you're going to use this most of the time. You can transform mid-combat, which in 1999 was actually pretty mind-blowing. The only real drawback, if you can even call it that, is that he can't revert back to his human form until his red jewels are depleted. And that's a costly resource. Outside of combat, his presence just adds a new level of cool to the game. It's hard to quantify. Sure, Reinhardt looked edgy, and Carrie had a formidable aura to her, but I mean, just look at Cornell. He's got that cool silver anime hair that all the really badass characters had back in the 90s and early 2000s. I never had this game as a kid, but if I did, you bet your ass he would have been my favorite.
There.
Also, his intro sequence on the sinking ship is genuinely awesome. It's dramatic, cinematic, and I'm sure a bunch of other addicts that I can't even think of. And it's about 10 times more interesting than anything that happened in the first hour of the original game. You can feel K-Sec flexing here. Sort of like they're saying, see, we just needed more time. While on the subject of characters, our old friends Reinhardt.
Oh, and if you want to know about any other groups I might have on Facebook, let me know. Because I have, like, I have a Batman Arkham Origins group. I have all kinds of groups. Because just because for the simple fact,
a lot of the voice lines and cutscenes from the original were now cut themselves. If only they decided to make this game on a console that can handle all of these features.
Every time I join someone else's group, even though I am in other groups.
And that's a damn shame, because they actually had some good stories on their own. I suppose if you never played the original...
Sometimes people, especially if they have to approve your post, for some reason they won't approve my post, even though I don't post anything wrong.
But that's not all. If you're shy like me, then you'll absolutely love your blonde. Yes, you heard me right.
And then I get tired of where
like literally right around the corner. And Duet doesn't do it by pure chance. They match people based on their personality test results, their dating
where these
preferences,
people
and your
they'll
work
let
interests. All you have to do is turn on your notifications and get ready to say hi.
was I even supposed to come in here?
You wouldn't really know what you're missing out on, but you'd still feel like something's off. And that's the paradox of Legacy of Darkness. It's both better and worse. It is the definitive version of the N64 Castlevania games, the one you should probably play if you want the full experience. But it's also the one that feels the most conflicted about what it's even trying to be. It's a remake of a game that ran out of time, made by a team that still didn't
I can't even see.
or maybe just not enough cartridge space. Don't get me wrong, I do like it. Sure, it's clunky and awkward at times, but it's also earnest. You can feel the developers trying to make things right, trying to deliver on a game that they promised, even if that meant rushing again. It's sort of like a good friend who breaks something in your house. You tell them, it's fine. Seriously, don't worry about it. I'll buy another. But they insist on fixing it anyway. And somehow, in their effort to fix it, they only manage to break it more. And at that point, you're just standing there like, okay, well, now it's really broken. But I appreciate the effort, and I admire that. I really do, because they didn't have to try again. Konami could have just walked away and said, yeah, we did 3D Castlevania once, didn't work, moving on. But no, they went back and actually tried to fix it. That's rare, that's human, but some things are just too broken to fix. And maybe that's okay, because there's a kind of charm in seeing what could have been. Like an unfinished cathedral with scaffolding still hanging on the sides. If you squint hard enough, you can still see the ambition through the cracks. In an age of endless remakes and remasters, this is one game that really deserves a second chance. Give it a modern engine, a stable frame rate, some proper lighting, maybe a camera that doesn't actively try to murder you, and I swear, there's something special buried here. You just have to dig through a lot of nonsense to find it. Maybe one day we'll finally get to see the full game KSEC meant for us to experience. Until then, we're left with two half-built castles of the same design, relics of ambition, trapped on hardware that couldn't keep up, howling at the moon for a time they never had. When I was putting together this list of horror games, none of them got me more excited than Nightmare Creatures. I remembered seeing it in videos about retro horror games, and some even called it the PlayStation version of Bloodborne. Now that's some high praise, but it's easy to see why they would make that connection. Despite being separated by nearly 2 decades, the games share a number of similarities, such as the 19th century Victorian Gothic setting. There are more of these as well, but we'll cover them as we get through the video. The point is, my expectations were higher for this game than others, solely since I like Bloodborne. I know, it's unfair, but that's also the truth. So, did the game meet those lofty expectations? Well, let's talk about it. Originally released for the PlayStation in 1997, Nightmare Creatures received generally favorable reviews among critics.
I don't know. I thought it was supposed to come down here.
While others appreciated the FMV cutscenes and gorgeously dark soundtrack. Seriously, give it a listen. It's pretty damn good. There were even those who found the combo-heavy hack-and-slash combat to be an enjoyable way to explore this creepy world. Not every review was positive, though. The controls, though serviceable, were clunky even for the time. There were also complaints about repetitive level design, which led to the game feeling stale just after a few hours. But outside of a few relatively minor complaints, the game was considered a commercial success. Because of this, Callisto Entertainment wanted to port the game over to Nintendo's more family-friendly N64. The console lacked any true horror games. This meant their title would stand out amongst the endless library of kids' games. This new venture also presented them with an opportunity to fix some of their previous mistakes, but there would be a few trade-offs. Most notably, the 64 version replaced all FMV cutscenes with scrolling text.
Let's go just try to search first and see, because it says 2.
Removing these risked killing much of the game's immersion. They didn't have a choice. Cartridge space was low, as was so often the case when porting games to this console. They also dumbed down the soundtrack by a significant margin, further diminishing the game's moody atmosphere.
Okay, there's
Still,
1.
sacrifices needed to be made.
See, 2 don't look like that, though.
N64 player base, and they certainly did. And so, over a year after the original game was released, Nightmare Creatures hit the 64 in November 1998.
But see, it don't let you stretch that far.
He works alone, his hands defiling the bodies of the dead in his thirst for knowledge. And
I guess this is where you gotta come, but I don't understand what it wants you to do.
Okay.
Don't let you go up that. Okay. It surely don't want you to go up these.
earn it. Be on cash advance. Download now.
See, it don't let you go that far.
His name is Adam Crowley, a man who was once respected in the field of science until fate led him along another path towards black magic.
Here we go.
Now he is in possession of the mythical Lost Diary of Samuel Pepys, a volume that contains the detestable rituals of the demon-worshipping Brotherhood of Hecate. Soon, he will complete his work. Tonight, as the sun sets on London one last time, he will unleash his demonic brood onto the streets. And should no one stop him, this city will be consumed by a horde of nightmare creatures.
So what type of game is Nightmare Creatures anyway? Well, it's marketed as a third-person horror game with a strong emphasis on fast-paced, aggressive combat. But at its core, it's an action game. There are definitely some horror elements to it, such as limited draw distance and scary monsters, but that's really where the horror part ends. You could argue that useful items like the gun are a limited resource, but not really in the same sense of a survival horror kind. Sure, dynamite is really nice to
No, my hand's glitching.
just fine without it. Anyway, the story follows two characters, a priest named Ignatius Blackwell and a biologist, Nadia Franciscus, both of which have their own strengths and fighting styles. They unite to hunt down Crowley and stop his plans for world domination.
Is there a save?
Occasionally spot
A
Crowley
save
as he's
thing?
trying to elude you, and his presence adds a fun little bit of tension to the narrative. We've got to stop this guy.
I don't think there is.
Attacks and movement, while Ignatius is more powerful, but at the cost of slower movement. Movement is